The kickoff apparently never happened. Do you remember watching the kickoff, Clark? Because I thought I watched it. I guess it didn't happen. I'm not sure what's going on there.
I don't know. I feel like I feel like we're in Men in Black or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And Vince McMahon is Will Smith.
Vince McMahon is playing the role of Will Smith, and here he is just being like, "Oh, that didn't happen. That didn't happen."
It's like, in that case, why even book the match to begin with? It makes absolutely no sense. Why even bother booking this shit if it's not gonna matter? You know what I mean? It's like it's like this one team booked the kickoff show and Vince doesn't watch the kickoff show, so he doesn't know. Like, that's what I don't understand here.
That's a good theory. That sounds pretty accurate, but I don't know, man. To me, I understand wanting to get as many names on that card. The gosh dang Colognes were on that show, man. When was the last time you saw them on TV?
The fucking Colognes. There were so many teams that were in that match. I'm like, wow, they still like are employed. The Colognes, I mean, they've wrestled maybe one match in a year and a half. That I understand. Yeah. I think Primo was in the fucking greatest Royal Rumble. That's it.
I know. I saw Epico and Primo, and I'm like, wait, these guys are still. I'm confused. But anyway, yeah. So I understand WWE wanting to put names on the show because it's a Big Four pay-per-view, right?
Exactly.
I don't understand why have the Usos go over only to be completely ignored.
It makes no sense. Exactly. The thing with the Usos is, like, I was catching up on all the content they put up over the weekend. They did an exclusive interview backstage during the show with the Usos, talking about the Usos being the sole survivors and how they picked up, the momentum boost for SmackDown. This gives SmackDown an edge. What does it feel like to give SmackDown the first victory of the night? Why not just delete the video at that point? Because they never acknowledged it after that. And it's still up on their channel. It's like, dude, what the fuck? And Xavier Woods, rightfully so, is pissed. Because I'm not disputing the fact that the match was on the kickoff show. This match belonged on the kickoff show. It really was not that good up until like the ending with I think it was the Revival and the Usos and the New Day and Chad and Gable. They were Gable and Rude rather. They all worked well together. Thought it was a fun final few minutes. The overall match being 20 minutes long. I don't really need to see the Ascension, the Colognes, and fucking the B team going at it for 20 minutes. I really don't care. But the match itself I thought was fun. The tag team division, Woods went on Twitter afterwards, kept on replying to people saying just 6-1, 6-1, 6-1. You got to give SmackDown some sort of acknowledgement here. You can't just ignore the fact that they won one of the big elimination matches. It wasn't like it was a pretty throwaway match, but then why even have the match? Why not book the fucking, Buddy Murphy Mustafa Ali match, which I love, don't get me wrong. I thought that was great and an awesome addition to the actual show. But if you're going to pull this shit, then why even bother doing that? Why not just put the Cruiserweight match on the kickoff show, since that's not Raw versus SmackDown? It made absolutely no sense. And it makes the Usos look like complete afterthoughts, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Dude, to me, I don't care what WWE says. I don't care what they push down our throats. It was 6-1. Or whatever, 5-1, I think.
No, you're right. It was 6-1. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, 6-1. Okay, then yeah, dude, it's 6-1. Like SmackDown won a match. It may have been the kickoff show. It may have gotten less eyes on the match, but SmackDown still won a match on the Survivor Series card, on the Survivor Series show.
Mm-hmm.
It may have been a kickoff show, but it was still Survivor Series. So SmackDown did win a match. I don't care what Vince says. I don't care what Stephanie or Baron Corbin or whoever says. SmackDown did win one match, and that's something. But they're gonna push it. They're just gonna push it, and be like, SmackDown didn't win a single match. I'm just gonna be like, no, you are wrong. And I watched the kickoff show. I don't watch the kickoff show, man, but I watched it because I was like, I have nothing else to do, so I'll watch it. SmackDown wins. I watched it. I watched it go down, people. SmackDown won a match. It was 6-1. So Woods, if you're listening to this, and I hope you are, man, that'd be cool. Hey Woods, you're right. It was 6-1.
Absolute travesty. A complete, just a joke of the tag team division, which isn't all that strong to begin with. But again, why bother even holding the match? It goes back to they do whatever fits their narrative because they want to fit the whole Raw is better than SmackDown shit. Then A, why even have the match? B, why have SmackDown win in that case? Which they should have because they have the better teams, which isn't saying much because they have the fucking Colognes on their brand. We haven't seen Gallows and Anderson in like 4 or 5 months, but whatever. Same thing with Sanity. But again, it goes back to this whole thing from a couple years ago. I don't know if you remember this, but it was around WrestleMania, 32, 33, whatever. When they pulled this whole shit, when they're like, oh, the kickoff show, it's all part of the main show. Everything is one main show, which is absolute bullshit because it's not. It's like when they had Aries and Neville on the kickoff show, great match. They weren't on the DVD. So this whole this whole idea that everything's WrestleMania, it's all on the main show, it's absolutely fucking not. Because you pull that shit, and then this happens where it didn't even happen. It's like you said, it was like Men in Black. So don't pull this thing where it's like it's all the same show when in reality it's really not.
Yeah, for sure. I absolutely agree with that. That is so true, dude. I forgot that Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin was on the kickoff show of WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly. Was that even a match? I don't even remember that, to be honest. I was there. I don't even remember that.
Bro, they're gonna have a Dean Ambrose Baron Corbin match, and they're gonna be like, haha, first time ever, and it's gonna be like, oh, I really want to punch you in the face right now, Vince.
Exactly. And if it happened on the kickoff show, it didn't happen. Like you said, You mentioned Solomonster before. His big thing for a whole time was that if it happened on SmackDown, it didn't happen. Well, if it happened on the kickoff show, it didn't happen. That's the new thing, I think.
Oh man, that is accurate. That is beyond accurate.
Damn, someone's got to make that a t-shirt.